Biodiversity poses a risk to all businesses and all sectors and all countries. It's not a question of if companies or individuals or countries are going to be impacted by biodiversity loss, it's a question by how much. There are some sectors which will be more disproportionately harmed. Tourism in Queensland, in Australia, it's dependent on the Great Barrier Reef. With respect to something like medical products, over 50% of today's modern drugs were developed with natural product sources. Then fashion even. 50% of the world's fashion is made out of cotton, so if there's a risk to cotton crops for any reason, then that's what's at stake for the fashion industry. The costs go well beyond economic. There are costs to humanity itself and potentially existential costs. It's not a question of if companies should include biodiversity loss in their plans. It's not a question of prioritising climate change over biodiversity loss. It's really key that companies address both. The two are on a par with each other in terms of their potential impact to the world. They are potentially existential threats, and the problem is one exacerbates the other and vice versa. There are two key criteria that you would start by looking at. The first one is mitigation and the second one is adaptation. So mitigation is what can a company do to reduce its impact on biodiversity loss. Adaptation is where a company responds to the effects of biodiversity loss on their own business. It's not all about addressing the risks and it's not all about addressing downsides. There are opportunities and potential upsides for a company. I see those upsides as being in sort of two key themes. The first one is in relation to a company's reputation or standing. So if you address the mitigation of biodiversity loss through your business, then potentially you've got a better reputation with your customers, employees, or other stakeholders. That makes you more attractive to those customers and employees. On the way through developing products or processes or services that may have a lower impact on biodiversity loss, then potentially what you discover is new products, new services, new ways of working that put you ahead of your competitors. So there are wins in this for businesses if they address biodiversity loss. Overall, what you want the individuals, companies and governments to do is consume less, produce more efficiently and more sustainably, and then protect the ecosystems and restore the ecosystems, ideally creating networks between ecosystems if they can.